It's the bullshit that your body cannot absorb more than 30 grams of protein. That's an old myth. Hello guys, welcome to another video, and today we're going to talk about how you can get back after the break and my tips when it comes to training and diet advice. So I have written a note here so I don't forget about what I'm going to talk about. So here's my note, and I'll just walk through it and just explain you what I'm thinking about those things. So first of all, when you come to the diet and training regimen or your routine after a break, I don't recommend doing too much volume because your threshold is lowered. Your threshold for stimuli is lowered. So if you do too much volume, what happens is that you tend to take much longer time to recover. You're really sore for longer time, and the probability of you going to gym next day or the day after or soon will be prolonged because you're so sore and you really want to recover from your previous session. So that's number one. Doing too much volume too soon, expecting to handle the same amount of volume you did before the break. So that's my tip number one, is that stop doing too much volume in the beginning when you're starting your gym routine after your break, because your threshold for stimuli is lower and you really want to ease into the routines. Go slowly, don't do too much volume. That's mistake number one. Because of course, if you don't go regularly to gym or train regularly, intensely, your threshold will drop. You cannot just stay all the time on the same level. If for example now, I would say I'm doing pretty good gym diet wise. If I have a break now, I cannot expect to be on the same level anymore. My threshold for stimuli will drop, and I need to adapt to the situation. So that's number one. Number two, calorie management. Okay, this is a big one because I see that when people come to the gym routine after a break, they tend to eat more because they want to build muscle. Actually, that's a mistake. Because you have this break, you can actually go off with actually eating less and the caloric deficit, because your fitness level, we can say fitness level of before the break was here, now it's here. So what your body is doing is that it's adapting to the circumstance and it's adapting to the environment. So now you can actually build muscle on a caloric deficit. When I had 1 month break during COVID 2 years ago, I didn't jump on the caloric surplus. I stayed in caloric deficit. I focused on getting high quality foods, protein, I drink enough water, ate enough vegetables, going regularly to the gym, making progress, and I saw muscle building. I saw that my muscles grew, I got stronger, and I lost fat at the same time because of that break. Because when you have a break, if you come back to the gym after a long time, you can actually build muscle and lose fat at the same time. If you are actually going gym regularly for a long period of time and your level is pretty good and high, you cannot do so. But if you're coming back after a long break, you can. So don't go on a caloric surplus. Rather stay in a slight caloric deficit, just below maintenance. And now you can ask me, what is your maintenance? What is your caloric deficit? Well, it comes with experience, and you can roughly estimate, And that is why I tell people that you should stay in a caloric deficit or a maintenance, and then try to go to gym regularly, and you will see progress. Don't jump on the caloric surplus, because that's a mistake. Because now you're in an environment that you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time. So that is tip number two. So yes, tip number three is that not eating enough low calorie dense food. The benefit of eating low calorie dense food is that because these calories it's not containing so much calories, you can eat more of the food. You know what I mean? For example, let's say one food contains 50 calories, another 100 calories. You can eat this one twice as much as this one. So you can eat more food, you will be more full, and the signals will be sent to the brain to reduce the ghrelin output, and the ghrelin is a hunger hormone telling your body to eat more because you're hungry. So if you stretch your stomach and eating low calorie dense food, your body will actually send signals to stop eating because you have the sensation of being full. That's number 3. Eat more of the low calorie dense foods to make it easier for you to stay in a calorie deficit. And number 4 is that you don't eat in a caloric surplus. There's the mistake I explained earlier, because coming back to the gym after a break means that you don't really need the high calorie diet plan which you had previously before a break. You are pretty good enough with a calorie deficit. Number 5, the optimal amount of volume I recommend after a break is in a week is that you can do 10 sets depending on your level, but 10 to 20 sets each week depending on the level. If you have coming to gym after a long break, go on that lower average number. Let's say for example 10 sets per week per muscle group. And if you're more advanced, 20 is fine. And of course you need to split them up. Don't do all the 10 sets at once. Split them up. For example, do them twice a week or even 3 times a week, so you can have more frequent stimuli for a muscle, because that's also important. I tell people volume is king, but frequency is the queen. So you need to have enough volume to grow, but if your volume is only for one day during the whole week, that's not optimal. You should divide it, you know. Number 6, don't forget your cardio. Of course, it's really important to do cardio because it really benefits when it comes to lifting weights, your cardiovascular health. I talk about cardio is in many videos. People ask me what cardio you should do. Well, here's my opinion. First of all, you should choose a cardio you like to do. Secondly, you should choose a cardio that you know that you can finish for the desired amount, and I recommend 20 to 30 minutes for each session. That's pretty good, and it should be intense enough. So what my personal cardio preference is that I like to do stairs, because here's the thing, running it's good also, but I like to watch videos when I do cardio. So I put the phone on the Stairmaster and I do cardio, so I can watch the screen without moving my head too much. Because when I'm running, you know, when you run, you're actually moving your head, and you cannot watch the screen so nicely, so good, in a good way. You're actually moving too much. So when you do stairs, you're more stable. Your body is actually really, how to say it, you don't move too much, and it's much easier to watch a screen. So I'm enjoying doing my cardio, and that's why I finished my cardio. I've seen good results losing fat. So that's one of the reasons. So you can try it. But keep in mind that stairs is actually pretty heavy. People who start out in the gym, you can start in the lowest pace and you can work your way up. Number 7, don't do bro split. Never do them. So yes, I see even people to this date in 2022, people who haven't learned anything from anyone, not even YouTube, which is readily accessible in 2022. People are still doing once a week training bro splits. It makes me wonder why and where people got this information from, that they are training muscle once a week. Well, it's not so optimal, because imagine if you train muscle once a week, there's 52 weeks in a year. So if you do once a week, let's say chest, you're stimulating your chest 52 times in a year. But what I do is that I train my chest twice a week, and in that way I can stimulate my muscle 104 times a week, which is almost doubling the gains. You're stimulating more often, and that is one of the reasons that you never go to gym and train one muscle part. Always do 2. If you can do 3, 4, do those. That's why I recommend push-pull legs, upper, lower, or full body splits, because then you can train your muscle multiple times in a week, which is really beneficial to muscle growth, because as I explained earlier, volume is king, but frequency is the queen. Number 8, be patient regarding the muscle memory. Yes, this is true. I'll explain now. This is true because when you come back after a break, you can actually build muscle faster than earlier. Because let's make it easier. If you're here and you want to make it better for you to come here. First time you're going there, it will take longer time. But the second time after break or injury or whatever circumstance that you may not go to gym, when you come back after break, the same level when you're here and you want to get here, it will go much faster because of the muscle memory. And that's really true. Because first of all, there's many factors playing in. You know how to train, you know how to eat, so it's much easier for you, regarding muscle memory. And of course, muscle memory is true, that you can reach the same level you were before much faster, rather compared to the first time. So that's true. Number 9, eat enough protein. Yes. How much protein? If I will give you a number, 1.8 to 2.2 for most of you. If you're in an aggressive cutting phase, you have to eat. I mean, if you're deep into your cutting phase, you should eat more. 2.5, even 2.7, depending on you. Because protein is fulfilling, it has increased thermic effect, it has several benefits, so that's why. But for most of you, if you eat between 1.8 to 2.2, for example, if you eat 100 grams of protein each day and you have 3 meals a day, try to divide it so you eat 35 grams of protein per meal. And those proteins should be in high quality sources. And if you are vegan or vegetarian, aim for 30% more protein intake during your day to compensate for the lost protein quality, because vegan and vegetarian protein sources doesn't have the highest quality, so you should compensate for the lost protein quality. And most of you are eating, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 meals a day. If you have a protein target, divide the protein target according to how many meals you have. For example, if you eat 200 grams of protein, if you have 4 meals, then each meal will contain 50 grams of protein roughly. It's the bullshit that your body cannot absorb more than 30 grams of protein. That's an old myth. It's a stupid myth people are believed to have, but that's stupid and that's not true, that your body can only absorb 30 grams of protein. Your body will absorb all the nutrients. But of course, if you cook the meal, don't eat the raw eggs because that's not so bioavailable. And don't do like Rocky because that's a mistake. So eat between 20 to 40 grams of protein per meal. That's my tips, because then you see a spike in protein synthesis, and that's really optimal. You want to create this protein synthesis during your day to give your body to stay in an anabolic environment, to be able to build muscle. So that's my tip. Number 10, don't go too long without eating. Yes, that's true. Because you don't want to stay too long between your meals. I would say eat between 3 to 4 hours, roughly. Sometimes it happens that you cannot eat for several hours, many more than that. But try to do your best. That's why you have protein shake available, that you have meal prep, you have Greek yogurt, right? So you can eat meal quickly and you have some meals prepared. And the reason being is that, for example, if you should consume 200 grams of protein per day, you shouldn't consume all the protein in 1 meal or 2 meals. Try to divide it, but don't divide it like in a stupid way that you dividing it 10 times a day. So you have these small protein spikes, 20 grams each spike for 10 spikes. That doesn't make sense also, because you need to have a good range of protein target to be able to induce protein synthesis. I would say eat between 20 to 40 grams, 50 grams to make it optimal enough to induce protein synthesis. So 200 divided by 4, that's 50. So try to consume roughly that amount. So yeah, you don't have these protein spikes during your day. So that's my tips coming back after a break. Be patient. You have muscle memory. Be patient and try to enjoy the gym. Don't forget your cardio. Progressive overload is not the problem anymore because you're coming back after a break. You will get stronger much quicker. So yes. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.